Thank you very much for making a date today on the marketplace. Let's settle for the very fair story. Government has reiterated it is committed to reviving the once vibrant car assembling and parts manufacturing company, New Plant Ghana Limited. The reassurance comes after management of the company met with the State Interest and Governance Authority, SIGA, to find a lasting solution to how to revive the ailing company. CEO of SIGA, Stephen Asamoah Boateng, after the meeting, told Joy Business the state may be considering diluting part of its shares to allow for restructuring of New Plant.
And indeed, we've met them several times. Yesterday, we met them, myself and the Minister for Trade and Industry. We met the president of the minority group from Paris, who's in the country now. He put together a proposal, but basically, I think he wants to capitalize the company. But as a minority, he needs our support. So we are working together with him how to restructure the shareholding arrangement. If it means government must give up some shares to make them become the bigger shareholder and for them to capitalize better, fine. Or if it means we still hold on to our shares and then find the extra resource to make the new plan work, then fine. Because really, if there's a bigger automobile industry going on, then we must also play a key role. And in fact, they can build the chassis and assemble the thing in Kumasi and Accra. I hear even Cape Coast is even putting up a case for New Plant to come and build. In that case, then we can then provide the resources for them to import the parts and build and then service the needs of like metro mass transport or intercity STC, and even the schools and colleges to build for buses and all that, and trucks. So those are the areas that we're looking at. Yesterday was a very fruitful meeting, and we are sure that the company is not going to go down and that the workers there must feel comfortable that the shareholder as a government is also playing this part, and hopefully we should put in the resources. So two key things we discussed yesterday and to work on are the shareholding structure, and which I said we would look at whether to dilute our shares and let them have a bigger share so they can capitalize it, or we come up with the money and capitalize it.
Those were some assuring words from Stephen Asamoah Boateng, CEO of SIGA. Away from that, receiver for the defunct financial institutions has outlined modalities for payments of claims of depositors from today. This follows a directive by President Akufo-Addo that payments should start from this morning. George Rafi has more in this report.
According to the receiver, all the said payments shall be made through branches of Consolidated Bank Ghana across the country. Based on information provided by the receiver, Consolidated Bank will then open new accounts for all the depositors whose claims have been validated and agreed in receivership for the liquidated financial institutions. The receiver is expected to send a text message to these depositors that are due for payment, setting out the account number and the cash amount for payment. The payments are to be made in the form of cash and bonds. However, 97% of the individual payment will be made by cash, while those deposits belonging to corporate firms will be done by bonds. According to the receiver, it is also in the process of validating claims to aid further payments. It has also confirmed receiving 5 billion Ghana cedis in the form of cash and bonds from government. The payment should bring some relief to those who had complained in the past that the delays was badly affecting their business and dealings. However, Joy Business is learning that only those who received their text message from this morning are allowed to go to the Consolidated Bank Ghana to receive their monies.
Well, joining me in studio now is George Rafi for some updates of the payment process. George, welcome to the marketplace.
Thank you.
What can you tell us? But before then, can you bring us up to speed with how it all started?
Well, so you remember that last year some institutions they lost their license to operate as a savings and loans company as well as a microfinance institutions.
Okay.
Now, the original plan per what the Bank of Ghana gave the receiver was to actually dispose the assets that they have realized from these institutions and then start the payments. Even with respect to the law, there are guidelines on how the payment should be done. But it appears that the receiver is struggling to realize all these assets in terms of disposing them, selling them. You could recollect that recently they were trying to do an auction of the cars and it didn't go as expected in terms of even those who wanted to buy and the prices and all those things. So it looks like government took some actions that saying that, okay, we want to kind of pre-finance this process, give an advance payment to the receiver to give it, quote, to these depositors who had their funds locked up. And if later you realize the money from those assets, then we take it as government. So when the President of the State of the Nation address announced that from today, some monies have been given to the receiver, whether it's a Nandipa of a PricewaterhouseCoopers, to start making the payment today. Indeed, when we check with them, they confirm that they have the money all right, and that is in the form of cash and then bond as well.
All right. No, that doesn't mean that all the depositors are going to get their cash from today.
No, because what we understand from the receiver is that these are deposits or claims that have been validated and gone through the process. So you brought in a document saying that maybe this institution, we have savings and loans that has lost its license, owes you about 10,000 Ghana cedis or maybe 50,000 Ghana cedis. They need to check with the documents with your savings and loans to establish that indeed I put money in your savings and loans company, and these monies are indeed there, and indeed you owe me. So then when they do all the validations, then they would be able to send you a text message. That a system that is linked between the receiver's office and the bank that has been designated, that is the consolidated bank. And that message is generated and is sent to you. So the two institutions all have a system that indeed could demonstrate that we are fair or I supposed to come there for some money. So it would only, for those who have been given that SMS message, they are the only persons that can even go there today to claim their funds.
So it's
and I understand that the process is still being worked on, validation is still ongoing to aid the payment, possibly from today, all other things being equal.
But do you have any updates as to how the process is going?
So what we understand is that all the branches of the consolidated banks are supposed to be designated outlet for you to go and collect your money. So if you get the SMS alert that you can go to maybe Unibank, maybe Consolidated Bank branch in East Legon, you can walk there and then withdraw your monies. But also they're trying to bring in some arrangement where they might be able to open an account for you, depending on your investment that you had there. And also the fact that you also need to bring in the required identification to show that indeed this is George Yaffe, and they will start making a necessary payment for you as well.
So finally, before you go, there have been some concerns that the whole process could impact the economy negatively.
Yeah, it depends on how you look at it. So first, you want to look at the fact that when the president said that all the deposits may be paid, everybody thought that, okay, so today everyone can just walk into the branch and withdraw his or her money. But it's not so. The argument here is that anytime you're pushing X amount of money into the economy, if you want to look at the liquidity situation, it has to be balanced with productivity. So if you have more money in circulation than what the economy can absorb within a week or a day, it may have some negative impact on inflation in terms of having more money in the system, and literally that might go after the little goods that are on the market, and that might not be good again.
But these were monies that were already circulating in the system, but were withdrawn because of the challenges.
But that's where Bank of Ghana has a policy that they always want to manage the amount of money in circulation. So yes, that this is a planned money that they're going to put in the system. Every week you have to balance that with economic activities. Otherwise, if you have more money in circulation than what the economy can absorb, that might not be good for the economy. Also, if you go through the budget, this money has not been captured as in planned expenditure. People are worried about the implications for our rising budget deficit and whether, again, if they're not going to cut other expenditure to make way for this, then it means that we might even end the year with a higher budget deficit than we've planned. And that might not be good for the economy as well.
Thank you so much,
George
Yaffe, with that update on the payment of depositors' outstanding claims.